Welcome back, guys. Today we've got something a bit special for you. Ever since I saw these two platforms last year in Taiwan, I've been wanting to get them both together again so I can do a more in-depth review and also have a look at internals and other details that I wasn't able to see then. I am of course talking about the G&G ESG B10 gas bullpup shotgun and the MGCR 556 gas blowback M4 platform. Both guns, when I used them out there, were fantastic fun, and I just want to see if they hold up today. So first, let's go and see how they perform out on the range. So we're here on our outdoor range with the MGCR 556 7-inch version, and first we're going to test it on the chrono, see what kind of performance we're getting on 0.2 gram BBs with ultra air gas, and then we're going to test the actual gas efficiency of the magazines themselves. So let's get started. .332, 338, 338, 336, 335, 336, 339. I'm seeing quite a lot of consistency here. This is not bad at all. Oh, 348, that was a bit higher. 350, 343, 345. Okay, so it's jumped up from the higher 330s to into the 340s. It's interesting. Okay, that's 20 shots. I'm surprised actually that it didn't drop drastically during performance. I suppose that speaks to the gas efficiency of the magazine, which is what we're going to test now. So I'm going to bat off the rest of the magazine, then we'll refill it again with some more .2s, do the same thing and the same thing again until the gas runs out. See how many magazines we get through. Right, that's the end of the first one. So that's the mag loaded again. Again, I've not refilled the gas, same amount of gas in there as before. Let's go a bit quicker this time, I think. Third mag. Number 4. Number 5. Okay, number 6. Now first, I'm going to put this one through the chrono just to see if there's anything changed, and then we'll carry on blatting off the rest of the rounds. .328, 327, 334, 328, 334. So it has dropped a little bit, but I mean that's still very, very good performance. I mean the magazine is cooling down. It is a bit colder than it was, but nowhere near as bad as some platforms. Anyway, let's carry on. Oh, it's failing to lock back now, so I think we're probably at the end of the usable gas. There you go, look, we've still got a couple of BBs in there. So it's not fully cycling now, but still, up to, what's that, 5.5 mags, I would say, on one fill of gas. It's ridiculous. Anyway, next up, we're going to actually check out how the shooting performance is, so testing range, accuracy, etc. Okay, so now we're going to test the shooting performance. We've got a fresh fill of ultra air in the magazine, we've got some G&G 0.28 gram BBs in there. We've set the hop, which I'll talk about in a minute, and we're going to see how many we can hit first at the 40 metre can, then see if we can reach the 60 metre can at the end. So let's see how we do. First the 40. Oh, slightly over it that time. There we go. Right, let's try that 60, see if we can reach that. Nope, not that one. I can hear it hitting the wood, so it might just be my aim. So yeah, I think we might be pushing it out towards 60 metres, but certainly at that 40 metre can. I was hitting it. There we go. There we go. I should probably also tell you that I haven't bothered, because this is my own optic, I haven't bothered adjusting the sight of this. So maybe that accounts for a few of the misses there, but to be honest, pretty straight and true. Adjusting the hop, which is what I wanted to speak about now, is very unique. No other system, as far as I'm aware, does this, and it's unique to G&G because they've done it on their pistols too. But you don't have to take the gun apart, you don't have to split it to adjust the hop or anything. All you need is a 6mm Allen key, which it comes with, and you adjust the hop down the front of the barrel, like that. And it has little click stops, left and right, to adjust that. So it's very easy to get the right position and keep it there as well, which is really nice. However, what I am going to do now is reload the mag and then show you what you've all come here to see, which is fun mode. Fun mode, let's go. It has actually finished. Didn't quite lock back. Give me another mag. Yes. Again, didn't quite lock back. Probably worth mentioning that we have put a lot of rounds through this thing, and it is getting quite cold now, as gas tends to do. There's no solution for that, unfortunately. But, oh man, this thing is fun to shoot. You know, that full auto mode, it just rattles your face all around the place. It's difficult to keep your eyes on the target, to be fair. But great fun to shoot. Pretty consistent performance, I'd say, in semi-auto. Full auto is, as with any gas rifle, it's kind of a, if needs must, then you can. But generally speaking, you'll be keeping it on semi, I would have thought. But no, excellent gun to shoot. Great fun to shoot, that's the main thing. Yeah, let's head on back. So now we're on our indoor range having a look at the ESG B10 bullpup gas-powered shotgun. Now this thing is a bit of a beast, but the first thing we need to do is try and chrono it if we can. So let's see what we've got. We've got 0.2 gram BBs in here and a full tank of Ultra Air. Yeah, I don't think that's firing at 669 somehow. 206. 201, 216, 208, 208. That's more akin to what I would have expected. My reason for the concern over the chrono is the fact that rather than it firing like 3 shots from 3 separate barrels through the chrono, which is hard enough to chrono as it is, this is firing a line of either 5 or 10 BBs, all in a line. So if you imagine how the chrono works, it's going to break that first laser with the first BB, but then is it going to break the second laser with the first BB or the second BB? You know, it's a bit weird how it might work. But I mean, that kind of power level is kind of what I would expect. It's not a terribly powerful gun to begin with. It doesn't need to be. This is success by volume, not by accuracy or distance. But anyway, let's have a couple of shots down and see what the spread's like. First we'll do it on 5 and then we'll do a couple on 10 as well. So we're getting quite a good spread there straight off the bat. This isn't the longest range we've got here. We were talking about, what, 7-8 meters, something like that. And at times, the spread is stretching wall to wall, which is a good, metre and a bit, metre and a half even possibly, across. So, you know, that kind of distance, that kind of spread. Playing with this in CQB, you're going to really upset some people. But I'll tell you what, we're going to flick it for 10 now and have a listen to see if we can hear the BBs feed the extra 5 in. There it is. So 10 BBs. Interesting that the audio of it changes, the sound of it changes when you flip to 10. Before it sounded a lot more of a crack to it. This one's got a more sort of tubular, I can't describe it really, but you know, it sounds more tubular. I suppose that's the best way I can describe it with 10 BBs in. I suppose it's pushing more BBs out the barrel, it's using more of the gas. Perhaps that accounts for the difference in the sound, but either way, oh man, you're going to really, really ruin some days. Yeah, that reached wall to wall, side to side then. That reached from floor to ceiling. And then we're out. And that is the danger of having a gun that fires 10 BBs at a time. You're going to run out unless you're running particularly high cap mags. Not necessarily the rattly type, maybe EPM1, something like that. Those would be really good for this. Anyway, one of the things I really wanted to do was see what kind of customization we could get on this platform. Now, we did dismantle it a bit. There's not a great deal, if anything, you can do on the inside. However, as you can see, we've tarted this one up a bit. We've got the hollow clone on there. We've taken the cover off the bottom rail and put a foregrip on there as well, just to improve handling. And what you can see here is a little tracer unit. Now, underneath all of this is a 14mm counterclockwise thread, so you could, in theory, mount that tracer unit all the way down inside this tube back here somewhere. That'll look great, I guess, but it'd be an absolute pain turning the thing on and off again at the beginning and end of each game day, because you'd have to take the top cover off, take the drum, the outer barrel off, and then, you know, you get access to the tracer. So what we've done is we've used some outer barrel extenders to bring the tracer unit right to the end there, making it easily accessible to unscrew, turn on and off, screw it back on again. Job done. Now, what I'm particularly interested in is to see if those extended outer barrels are also going to tighten up the grouping, or whether if it'll affect it at all. So, without further ado, let's give it a go. Right. So, 5 shots first. Okay, well, it's lighting up all 5 BBs okay, and you can really get an idea of the spread as well. There we go. And now I'm going to flip it to 10. Ready? Oh, there we go, and we're out. So there you have it. To be honest, spread didn't seem to be affected at all, really, by adding those barrel extenders there. I guess it's the fact that they're going to be rattling around on their way out anyway, so they're going to get that spread. I don't think that's going to be a problem. One of the things I was concerned about is whether or not the tracer was going to keep up with 10 BBs in a row. And I'm happy to say that, to be honest, this particular one did a very, very good job. I couldn't see any that weren't illuminated. Maybe once or twice on the 10 shot, maybe one wouldn't be illuminated, but it was very, very difficult to tell. But you could certainly get an idea of where the BBs were going, and that is everywhere. So yeah, anyway, that is the ESG B10 bullpup. I like it, I'd love one, but I'm too old and slow for CQB, so we shall see. Man, these things are fun. Anyway, let's have a more detailed look at the platforms, and we're going to start off with the bullpup shotgun. Now, you can see here, we've set it up on in a way we think we would use it in a CQB environment, for example. You've got your optic on the top there and a foregrip. But regardless of that, first off, from front to back, you've got a full metal build, which is very, very solid. You know, there's no skimping on quality here. G&G are always good for their external build quality, and this is certainly no exception. So M-LOK compatible slots on the handguard there. It does have a Picatinny rail on the underside, which you can see on the overhead cam there, to which we've fitted this foregrip, but it does come with a cover, so you can just use it with your hand underneath the handguard very comfortably, not a problem. Moving on from there, we have QD sling points at the front there, so on either side, so very ambidextrous in that regard. And then moving back to the funnest part, we have the fire selector, which takes you between 5 and 10 shots. Yes, 5 or 10 BBs per shot. It's ridiculous fun. Very, very positive clicks, very easy to move, and again, ambidextrous, so there's one on the other side as well. Nice and easy. Moving back from there, we have the magazine and the mag releases. Now these are sort of flappy paddle designs basically, so you just push down and the magazine comes out, boom, like that. Now the magazine does come with a follower on it, so be sure that that is pushed in before you insert the magazine back in, and I'm not going to fiddle with that right now to do that, but a very positive mag release, very easy to use. I know a lot of people moan about bullpups and reloading speed, but there's no missing that with your thumb when you come back to reload, so very, very easy. And then QD mounts on the back on both sides as well, so you can easily run a 2-point sling if you want to. Nice and easy. On the underside here is where the fill valve is for the gas tank. Now we have to some degree taken this apart, and the gas tank is massive. It's a huge reservoir, so I don't think you're going to run out of gas very, very quickly at all. Should last you a good few sort of pickup games before you have to regas it again. So yeah, very, very efficient, very, very solid again. You can feel in the weight of the gun that it's, you know, it's reinforced and it's sturdy where it needs to be. And yes, it is heavy, but a lot of the weight is in the rear. So when you come to shoulder the weapon, it's pretty balanced, especially if you have got a foregrip on the front, because you can easily grab that and just balance the gun very comfortably. Now, some of the things that aren't obvious off the bat when you pick that up, I've got another one here that I'm just going to pick up off the floor. So at the front there, you have an unassuming but large tube, which is just a hollow tube. It does unscrew, and then it reveals a normal 14mm counterclockwise thread. So I was wondering, what can you fit on there to enhance the gun? Now you can see on the first one I showed you, we've got the tracer unit on the front there. Now that has been achieved by using barrel extensions. And you obviously various different length barrel extensions will take your tracer unit sort of deeper into the tube or further out. It's entirely up to you. You've got lots of options as far as barrel extenders go. We've gone with, I think it's a 117mm main barrel extender, and I think an extra 1 inch just to bring the tracer unit out just past the tube. But I preferred it when it was slightly flush in. The benefit of that, of course, means you can get the tracer unit off to turn it off and on again. Whereas if it's buried inside there, you have to take the top rail off, you have to take the outer tube off to do that. Now that isn't difficult, it just requires punching out a single pin, which I'll show on the overhead camera, just there, that pin there. Punch that pin out, and then with some oomph, you have to push the top rail off, but it does slide off. Everything is very, very tight fitting. You know, the quality control is excellent from G&G as usual, and the tolerances are very tight. But that does just slide off, and then you've got access to unscrew that easily, that outer tube, and also get to that 14mm counterclockwise thread. One of the other things I was wondering was, in a barrel, can that be swapped out to something that's a bit longer? Unfortunately not. It is a proprietary inner barrel, so you won't be able to swap that out with anything. So you are stuck with whatever length it is, but I mean, you're talking about a good, what's that, about 8 to 10 inches, something like that, maybe? Maybe 8-9 inches, something like that barrel, which is more than enough for this, really. Anything longer, and you might start to compromise the spread of the BBs, perhaps. And also you might start to push it over certain airsoft sight power limits, potentially. As it is, it shoots, very respectably. It's got a nice spread on there, especially on the 10 BBs. It's kind of unpredictable, but it's a shotgun. What do you expect? But certainly for CQB use, it's going to wreck people's day. And it is a lot of fun to shoot. So that's the ESG B10. Let's place that down. Moving on, the MGCR. Now, this did make me very happy when I saw it the first time and I tried it the first time. Gas blowback guns have always had that kind of allure of, oh, it's, you know, the closest thing to the real thing. And using them always puts a smile on your face. The recoil, the sound, even the function of it, even though you're getting sort of only 30-35 shots per magazine, you know, the fact that the bolt locks back and you have to change the mag and drop the bolt again, it's all very kind of, yeah, I'm a soldier. And this one, to be honest, is probably one of the best ones that I've shot in terms of its feel, you know, and the happy factor, if you like, you know, the smile that it puts on your face when you're shooting it. But anyway, first things first, front to back, we've got a very solid muzzle device on there, which is, I believe it's like yeah, it is metal, that's fine, and it's grub screwed in as well, so just bear that in mind. But it does reveal a 14mm counterclockwise thread, so you can put a tracer unit on there, etc. Not a problem. Moving back from there, we've got a alloy M-lock handguard, very, very lightweight, even to the extent that on the overhead cam, you see it here, they've even milled out the tops of the rails just to save those grams of weight, which is a really nice touch. But again, very, very nicely finished, very solid. It's on there, you know, there's no twist to it, no flex to it or anything. It's very, very well designed. Moving back to the receiver, as you can see, it's this very cool kind of milled out futuristic style, and I dig that. I'm into it. Definitely. It looks cool. It looks different from your average M4. It sort of brings it into the modern age, which is really nice. And the eagle-eyed amongst you would have also noticed things like the ambidextrous mag release there, the enlarged bolt release paddle, both very well textured, so you're not going to slip off those. They're very, very easy to use. Moving back, we've got the flat blade trigger, which is very comfortable, and again, it's textured, so shouldn't be a problem using that at all. You can rattle off shots very, very quickly, and you've got your enlarged trigger guard as well, so you glove users shouldn't have any problems getting your fingers in there. Slightly back further, we've got the 45-degree fire selector. Now, this can be a bit of a bone of contention with some people. It's kind of a Marmite decision on a gun. Personally, I like it. I like that it's got a quick throw between safe, semi, full auto. I don't have to push my thumb all the way around to get to full auto. Not that I use full auto that often, and also being a gas weapon, it's more efficient on semi. Not that full auto isn't fun. But yeah, again, I really, really like that. And again, flipping over, we've got ambidextrous control on the other side there as well. And there's your mag release on the other side, which is super huge. Really, really easy to hit that and drop a mag if you need to, and nicely textured. And again, everything's put together really well. It's just, yeah, really, really solidly put together. Charging handle is this sort of Raptor style, ambidextrous again, nice and easy. Oops, there we go. Of course, the bolt's locked back because the magazine's in. And if I drop the bolt, oh, that's a satisfying sound. I do like that sound. Right, I'm just going to drop the mag out of there, and moving back from there, we've got a steel castle nut, so nice and solid, along with the steel sling plate as well, and it does have a QD point in the back there that you can see. So if you're running a 1-point sling, nice and easy, and again, because it's in the middle, it's fine for lefties and righties. And then moving back from there, you've got your polymer stock, multi-adjustment. I think it's a 6-position adjustment to it. It's a G&G stock that you've seen on lots of other G&G guns. It's got its little tactical skittle storage pouch in the back there, or tube in the back, sorry. The gun does come in 3 different lengths, 7-inch, 10-inch and 12-inch. And for those of you who have been on our website, you'll have noticed that each variation has a different stock. So you get this sort of more minimal stock on the 7-inch version, which this is. The 10-inch has a slightly more built-up stock, and then the 12-inch has a chunkier one again. Whether it's necessary, it's a matter of opinion, I suppose. They're good stocks, they're good quality stocks, certainly, but whether it was a necessary thing for G&G to do, up for debate. But it is what it is. Of course, they are compatible with other stocks as well, so if you want to change it out, you can do. Now, some of the interesting features, which, again, you may not be aware of. There we go. Right, so we split the gun. First thing I want to show you, on the overhead cam, is if we have a look at the mock gas tube there, or the mock piston, which I know some of our lads in the media office are very, very happy to see that there because they're very much into their realism. You know who I'm talking about. However, if I push forwards on the bolt, see that spring moving? That is a buffer which reduces the impact of the bolt hitting the hop unit at the front. How many other gas platforms can you say have that? Because I'm not aware of any. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please do. But I think that is a genius bit of design, and it helps preserve the longevity of the gun over time. You know, it's not going to wear down anywhere near as quickly. It's just a brilliant solution. Speaking of the bolt, I'm going to pull this out of here. Put it down there for a second. This thing weighs nothing. It is so light. It's ridiculous that they managed to get the amount of recoil and oomph out of it that they do. It's just, there's nothing to it. It's amazing. Now when we come to the buffer tube, the buffer itself, sorry, it is a solid, I think it's steel, very, very strong recoil spring on there. So that just further adds to the that recoil that you feel when shooting the gun. Again, overall, it's just very, very well put together. Another thing worth noting as well, all of the trigger components, if I move that there, all of the fire group, the trigger, the hammer, the sear, the disconnector, etc., all steel. So again, it's just gonna, it's the pieces. It seems like G&G have taken note of what other manufacturers have done with their gas blowback platforms and what's gone wrong with them, and they said, right, well, let's make it better to start with. Let's not rely on people having to do upgrades to bring it up to the level they want it to be. So I think that's a really, really good decision from G&G, and it can only serve to help the gun perform its best for a much longer period of time, basically. So well done, G&G. Very pleased with that. So let's put that down. So there we go. Those are the guns in a nutshell. Again, I can't say enough good about them, really. They're just really, really well built, and they perform great, and they're good fun to shoot. And what more can you ask for in airsoft? You know? Having said that, what are your thoughts? Give us your impressions in the comments. Are you likely to run the B10 pull-pup? Are you likely to run the MGCR? I suppose one of the cons of this is it is a proprietary magazine system, so you are going to rely on having to get those G&G magazines, which are becoming available. You know, every platform when it first launches has usually got some kind of proprietary thing. You know, TM, when they first launched theirs, it was kind of their design magazines. VFC have their own sort of compatibility issues as well. So every platform has it. It's just because this is a brand new technology. So, you know, is this something that you're likely to adopt? I'm sorely tempted, if I can convince the wife. But yeah, fantastic bits of kit. Let us know what you think in the comments. But for now, we'll see you in the next one.